Hi, I'm Kyle Hancock. I'm a licensed psychologist, and today I'm here with Yada Yada. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about depression specifically. Many people ask me, what's the difference between depression and just being sad? It's a wonderful question, and it's very helpful to explore. Every person at one time or another experiences sadness. And by its nature, sadness may come for reasons we can easily identify. A disappointment, a heartbreak, an unexpected turn of events would certainly result in sadness. Depression, on the other hand, is much more a cluster or a set or a group of symptoms. And what happens with depression is, in addition to sadness, we couple it with things like loss of hope. No matter what I try, no matter what I do, things cannot seem to get better. Sleep is often significantly impacted by a person who experiences depression. Sometimes a person finds that he or she sleeps much more than they intended, and at other times a person wakes up much earlier than expected and can't return to sleep. Many people who experience clinical levels of depression also find that their appetite has changed quite substantially. Some people find that they crave more foods than normal. And oftentimes, unfortunately, it's those foods that are less healthy for us, high in fat or high in salt or high in sugar content. Other people find that food is not enjoyable, and they find they don't have an appetite like they used to. Another thing that often shows up for people who experience depression is they ask the questions, why is this here? What have I done wrong? Why can't I make it go away? And these symptoms or experiences, they tend to last for a long period of time. The average person would say that when they feel clinical symptoms of depression, that it lasts more often than not, and about half of the month or more. The challenge for many people is they get accustomed to it. It becomes my normal. And so unfortunately, we can continue going along and missing out on the joys or happinesses or hopes that can be made available through effective therapy techniques. Depression is not a choice. It's not something people decide to experience. And although there are many quips and many social media posts about ways to manage depression, some of them may have merit. If they're not working for you, there's quite a lot of science that has demonstrated specific therapy techniques to support people in managing their specific symptoms of depression. There is hope. There is the possibility of improvement. There are many ways to reduce that overwhelming feeling of dread, frustration, discouragement, self-incrimination. We have tools available that can be used with no one seeing them. One of my personal favorites is noticing the way I talk to myself. Quite often, we talk to ourselves in ways we would never talk to someone that we love. We use words, phrases, cutting remarks when we're talking to ourselves, whispering under our breath or just thinking in our own brains that we would never share aloud, and most of us would be deeply embarrassed to admit. So when we find ourselves engaged in that pattern of behavior, patiently, gently, and firmly pause. Say to myself, hang on a moment. Would I say that to someone that I love? And if the answer is no, gently and firmly replace that thought with another. There isn't a need to chastise yourself further, to put yourself down for having made an error. A simple acknowledgement and an opportunity for change can be a significant difference for people who experience mild or even moderate symptoms of depression. Another simple tool we can use is to give thanks. Substantial research shows that people who experience significant depression often have difficulty recognizing the things for which they are grateful. The goal here is not to magically remove the feelings of depression. Sometimes we simply cannot do that. Instead, Our goal is to introduce another thought that might bring with it another feeling. And so suddenly, while we may still have those feelings of depression, we also have this new feeling of gratitude. And as we gather more and more gratitudes, we might notice that our attention shifts, our feelings change, and our behavior may adjust. And we know with certainty, changing our behavior in simple ways, changing our thoughts in simple ways, can go a long way to reduce our experience of depression. So the next time you notice you're feeling down, monitor the way you're talking to yourself and treat yourself the way you would treat someone that you love.